Welcome to the University of Hertfordshire, a community nestled in green spaces just north of London. So, where exactly are we? We have two campuses in Hatfield. Getting here is an absolute breeze. We are a 25-minute train ride from London's King's Cross station, and we have direct rail links from Stevenage, Welwyn Garden City, Cambridge and North London. 𝐿NO, your university bus service, ensures you can get to campus easily, whether that's from Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire or North London. Discounted fares on the whole of the 𝐿NO network and a free shuttle between campuses means it's not just a bus, it's your ticket to independence, exploration and adventure. We are very well connected by the M25 and A1M if you choose to drive. Our nearby park and ride is super convenient, and we also have limited on-campus parking. So, whether you are coming by train, bus or by car, getting here couldn't be easier. Join us at the University of Hertfordshire, where ideas move at a different pace.
Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to today's live session. I'm Shumi from EN Global Education Limited. We are a trusted UK university partner representing more than 80 top-ranked universities. In our today's live session, we do have our special guest with us, Dean Lee, Head of International Recruitment of one of our prominent partners, University of Hertfordshire. Hi Dean, how are you?
Hi there, Sumi. Good morning to you, and thank you for having me on today's session. It's lovely to be with you. I'm very well, thank you. I'm keen to kind of start engaging with your students and your offer holders and answering all their questions that they may have today.
Thanks for joining the session. We are very happy to have you for our live session today. So, dear students, the topic of today's discussion will be focusing on the upcoming session covering the university's facilities, academic programs, and scholarships. So, Dean will provide you all the necessary information. In the meanwhile, please leave any queries in the comments area below. Following the completion of our discussion, we'll have a question and answer session with Dean. So, it's over to you, Dean. Can you kindly introduce yourself once again to our students and also tell us about University of Hertfordshire's history, location and campuses, please?
Sure. So hello there, everybody. I'm Dean Lee, the Head of International Recruitment at the University of Hertfordshire. So my role at the university is overseeing all of our key recruitment markets, such as Bangladesh, Nigeria, and the rest of South Asia as well, managing a team of regional managers and also in-country teams as well. So a little bit about the University of Hertfordshire. The University of Hertfordshire, as you've seen on that short clip, is located just outside of North London. We're a 20-minute train journey into King's Cross station, which is pretty much central London. So a very, very convenient location. We're in Hertfordshire, which means we're surrounded by huge green spaces. Our College Lane campus actually is around about 125 acres, so it's a very, very vast space. So the university was originally a polytechnic college up until 1992, specialising in engineering programs and also the health programs such as nursing and physiotherapy. In 1992, the university became, we received our university status. And since then, we've gone on to offer now over 550 career-focused led programs across various schools of study, including business, education, law, computer science and engineering. We're also the only university this year to be awarded the King's Award for Enterprise, which is an achievement that we're very, very proud of and that we're keen to kind of promote and inform all of our applicants and network. So the university, as you saw on that short clip, it is located in a town within Hertfordshire called Hatfield, 20 minutes to London by train. So again, as mentioned, very conveniently based. We have two main campuses: College Lane campus, which is our largest campus, and a de Havilland campus as well, which is where our business, our law, and our sport facilities are based. The campus itself is like a community. It feels like a town within a town, And the feedback that we receive from our international students, that is the key thing that they appreciate and the most and enjoy the most is the safety aspect of the campus. They feel extremely safe. You don't see members of the public coming onto campus. You don't see any kind of outside influence come onto campus, which is why they feel so safe when they're here. The university, as I mentioned, offer programs across business, creative arts, education, law, health and social work. So within that, you've got the likes of nursing, life and medical science, so biotechnology, bioscience programs. And also we have our SPECS, which is our School of Physics, Engineering and Computer Science. We've just recently opened a new £100 million building to host all of our SPECS programs. So if you do go onto our website, you'll be able to see that hugely impressive building. You can actually see it from the motorway as you're driving down. It is that large. Tuition fees at the university, our standard undergraduate fee is £15,500, and our standard postgraduate fee is £16,450. However, some programs do differ. They may be slightly more, depending on whether or not they have a placement attracted to them, or if they are a specialised program, such as our health-related programs in nursing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything more you wanted me to add before we move on? I can go.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
So in terms of scholarships at the university, we do offer up to £4,000 merit-based scholarships. So every student who does apply to the university is considered for one of those scholarships based on their academic profile. But outside of that, every student, if we are unable to award one of those merit-based scholarships, will receive a £2,000 discount on their tuition fee. So that's both postgraduate and undergraduate. Postgraduate students will receive a scholarship called the �KING's Award Scholarship, relating back to us receiving the �KING's Award this year for enterprise. And all of our undergraduate students will receive £2,000 for every single year of their study. So essentially, if they come for a 3-year program, they receive £6,000 off of their fees.
It's a very lucrative option, I must say.
So it's been very, very positively met by market in terms of that additional scholarship. Also, if students are able to pay their fees in full before the end of the registration period, they will also receive an additional £1,000 off of their tuition fee. So essentially, every student can avail £3,000 off of their tuition fee, and undergraduate students can do that every year of their study. So they can get £9,000 in total off of their tuition fee across the 3 years.
Okay, that's perfect. So how much time they will get to pay the remaining fees after paying the cash deposit to the university?
Sure. So we have fee liability dates that we implement at the university. So our international students will be required to pay 65% of their tuition fees before the end of that registration period. So students joining us in September this year have to pay that 65% of their fees before the 7th of October. They'll then be asked to repay the remaining percentage in the new year before the next semester does start. In terms of paying the fees, students don't have to pay those fees in lump sums. They can pay those throughout a period of time, as long as by the end of that, by the time you get to that liability date, that percentage has been paid. And that percentage, to make students aware, is calculated based on the overall fee. So there aren't any discounts or scholarships that are taken into account when calculating that 65%. So if we take an undergraduate program, for example, that costs £15,500, our finance team will calculate 65% of that as the first liability.
Okay, perfect. So in terms of, placement courses, placement year, those courses are available. Students are very, willing to go for those courses. Can you please tell us something about the courses comes with the placement years?
Yeah, so all of our undergraduate programs, they have an option of a placement in the 3rd year, and students can opt to do that, and then their visa will be amended to reflect that. But in terms of postgraduate study, the vast majority of our postgraduate programs do have a 2-year option, and those 2-year options are either with a placement or students will opt to do an advanced research project in their 2nd year. The placement route is one that the students, it's an extremely popular route that students opt for. Students are encouraged to find that placement themselves. But what we do have at the university is a very strong careers and employment team who have, and across our schools of study as well, we have vast amounts of industry links. So we're able to put our students in contact and connect them with key industry individuals so that they can look to get those placements. And what we do tend to see at the university is our students get very, very strong placements in terms of pay and remuneration as well. So students will be paid for this placement. To give you kind of an example, one of our Bangladeshi students actually secured a placement where they were paid £37,000 for that placement year. So it goes to show that we do have very good links, and students do get onto very, very good placements with us.
Okay, so they're getting beneficial by this course as well. I can see that.
Yes. Yeah.
Doing
the students who opt to do the placement, obviously they will get paid to do that, and that will also help go towards paying for towards their tuition fees, their living costs, etc. Which we fully understand and appreciate that a lot of our international students will look to do some part-time work during their studies, but the placement on that 2nd year also goes a long way to help kind of paying that tuition fee that they've incurred for that 1st year.
Yeah, perfect. So is there any alternative English language test you are accepting from the international students, like Bangladeshi students, apart from IELTS?
Yes, we accept a vast range of qualifications for students from Bangladesh. So all of our English language qualifications, they are listed on our website. So I would encourage students to have a look at that. But we accept a various range of qualifications, PTE, we will accept Oxford International English. There are certain institutions in Bangladesh for postgraduate study applications where we can consider medium of instruction as well. But yes, we don't just accept IELTS. If you have an offer that it has an English condition, it will be expressed as IELTS. But we will accept a vast range of different qualifications for our Bangladeshi students.
Okay, so what are the primary documents student needs to submit, to get the offer letter?
Yeah. Essentially, the student can, we wouldn't encourage this, but we will give an offer if a student doesn't submit any documents, but tells us what they've studied. Okay. What we essentially require students to submit, and what we encourage them to submit, is a full application. And a full application is their academic documents, so their transcripts, certificate, copy of their English language certificate, an academic reference, an SOP, and also a copy of their passport as well. What we find, and it's probably kind of something that yourselves experience as well, is when students submit a full application, the process of them getting that offer and moving through the rest of the stages is a lot smoother and a lot quicker. So essentially, if you want to get your offer quickly, if you want to be able to kind of get everything in place in a quicker period of time, then please do submit all of those documents I mentioned. We can, however, list everything as a condition of your offer. If you're applying for a program that requires portfolio review, then we will require you to submit that as well. And then our academic staff can review what you've provided.
Okay, perfect. So what about the current turnaround time for offer and CAS?
Yeah, so we're now focusing on our January 2025 session in terms of processing applications, and we're seeing that applications are now starting to be turned around in 48 to 72 hours. Our aim before the end of September is to have that turnaround to 24 to 48 hours. So although we're still turning around applications quickly, we want to make that quicker because it's that level of service that we're aiming to provide. In terms of CAS, it depends on what stage you are during the process. So you will have to be unconditional in terms of your offer, so provided us with all your documents, and passed our sponsorship checks, so an interview essentially, and your maintenance will have to be checked and approved before that 𝐾𝐲 is released. We aim to have your 𝐾𝐲 for our January session issued before the university closes for Christmas. So the university will close around the 23rd of December. So your 𝐾𝐲 will be issued by that date. But what I would encourage students to ensure that all of their documents are submitted at an early stage so that we can start to move you through that process quicker and earlier than what we would do had you not been able to provide everything to us.
Okay, perfect. So as you have mentioned before regarding accepting portfolio for few courses, so students comes with, background with the bachelor BBA background, Bachelor of Business Administration, now willing to go for master's program like MBA program. So do you require any work experience relevant to this field to get admitted in the MBA program?
No. So none of our postgraduate programs specifically require work experience. Okay. Work experience will support an application where they don't necessarily have the required background, or if they've got a bit of an extended gap in their study. We don't encourage students to apply with significant gaps in study, because we've seen in previous years the 𝐾𝐽, the Home Office, can look into that in a bit more depth. But essentially, yes, we don't require work experience as part of a standard application, especially for our postgraduate business programs.
Okay, so fresh graduates easily can apply for your business courses for masters, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so tell us something about the accommodation facilities available for the international students.
Yeah, so our accommodation, we have significant amount of on-campus accommodation, whereby we can actually guarantee all of our international students a place if they wish to take that up. Our on-campus accommodation ranges from a twin room all the way up to a suite, a studio, where you've got your own kitchen, own bathroom, etc. The prices range depending on the type of accommodation that you're looking for. They go from £125 per week up to £250 per week. And obviously that's reflective of what type of accommodation you wish to do. There is also off-campus accommodation, and we do find that quite a lot of our students, especially from the South Asian market, will look to live in a town nearby called Luton, which has a strong South Asian community, so they tend to maybe have some family there. But what we do encourage our international students to do is to look to live on campus. We feel that it gives them the best experience, gives them that safety, it gives them that that confidence that they're on campus, they're able to kind of get access to all of the different facilities and amenities that are on campus, within a very, very short period of time. So yeah, we do have a significant and vast amount of accommodation. If you ever see any aerial shots of the university, you'll see the amount of accommodation that we do have. And as I said, we can guarantee international students a place in our accommodation.
Oh, perfect. So kindly tell us something about the health-related courses university do have for the international students.
Yeah, so we have various different health-related programs ranging from nursing to physiotherapy to radiography and also social work as well. A key thing for the university, and we're very, very kind of excited by this, is that we're going to be opening a medical school in 2026. So we're going to be offering an MBBS program as well. So we're currently in the process of having that all validated and approved, but it will be launched for the September 2026 intake.
Oh, perfect. So if any students, wish to go for a public health subject for master's program,
yes.
So does it require any related degree in bachelor, nursing related or?
Yes, the program, if you wish to apply for Master of Public Health, the program is very competitive. It's very popular in our international markets. So they do look for students with a strong academic background in health-related programs. It doesn't necessarily have to be nursing. It doesn't necessarily have to be that type of health related program, but as long as it is a health related subject, the school are happy and the program are happy to consider those applicants. Due to the popularity of that program, I would encourage applicants to get their application in early, and have a full application so they stand the best chance of being able to secure a place on that program.
So if student is from different background and did some work relevant to health related sectors, so are they eligible for applying for your MSc health related courses?
Yes, we can. For those programs, we can consider the work experience. So if they do have an unrelated degree, but they've been working in the care sector as a nurse, for example, then yes, we can definitely consider those applications. For those, we ask for the academic school colleagues to review those, to look at the work experience and determine whether or not that student would be eligible to study the program. But we do have students with those type of backgrounds that have been successful on the program.
Perfect. So as you know, the LLM or law courses are most demanding for Bangladeshi students right now at the University of Hertfordshire. Please tell us something about this course for the audience.
Yeah, so our LLM programs, as you mentioned, are very, very popular in the Bangladesh market. A key selling point for the university now for our LLM programs is that we actually have a 2-year option on these programs. So we have placement options available as well. We're keen to continue developing those as well. But yeah, 2-year master's programs on the LLM, so you do have that placement option. But we also do offer specific pathways, so intellectual property, data security, etc. We offer quite a few different specific pathways on the LLM, along with the standard LLM program that students can opt to study as well. What we do find with students who join us for their LLM, they do also then look to go on to do one of the more professional degrees, such as the solicitor's practice or the bar practice program as well. In terms of our law programs, our law court building actually has a full-size replica law court. So students get that hands-on experience. They get that experience of feeling like they're in a real court, which, when they go into the world of work, does stand them in good stead and puts them in a better position as compared to other candidates.
Perfect. It's a very lucrative option. I'm saying again because we have receiving so many applications for the LLM programs at University of Hertfordshire because of the moot court at the university, the availability of practice like they'll be doing after as an apprentice lawyer after completing their degree. So they will have the practical experience over there.
Certainly.
Yeah. So I just want to know as the entry requirements for the programs, UG and PG for Bangladeshi students.
Yeah, sure. So our entry requirements, so I'll give you kind of our standard entry requirements. For an undergraduate program, we look for 70% within the HSC. Okay. And we look for that to be awarded from 2020 onwards. We look at the published date on those certificates, as we know that sometimes they can be published slightly later. For a postgraduate program, so a course that requires a second-class honours degree in the UK, we would look for 55% in a 4-year degree in Bangladesh. And again, we look for that to be awarded from 2018 onwards. If a program requires a higher level of entry requirement, so a 2-1, in the UK, we would look for 60%, but the 95% of our programs at the postgraduate level are a 2-2, so we would look for the 55%.
Okay, fine. So what about the gap of study you are accepting for PG and UG? Yeah,
so for postgraduate, as mentioned, we would look for the graduation date of 2018, so essentially now a 6-year gap in study, and for undergraduate, a 4-year gap in study. And what we would also look for if students do have a gap in study is to provide us with a strong resume, strong CV, which outlines all of the different jobs or the job that they have been doing during that period of time. Essentially what we would be looking for if a student was to apply for postgraduate study, we'd be looking at what they've done in terms of their work experience and how this degree is going to benefit them when they go back to the world of work. Essentially it will take them to that next step.
Yeah. So what about the top-up courses? We find some students, they come up with 2 years completing a bachelor degree from Bangladesh, and they're now willing to go for your university for the relevant courses. So is there any top-up courses available at the university?
Yes, we do offer top-up programs. So we offer a business administration top-up program. That program is available to start in both September and January. And we've also introduced a new top-up program in business called International Business Management, which again is available in both September and January. The good thing about these two top-up programs is that they will accept students with any academic background in terms of the subject. So as long as they've studied the required period of time to be able to qualify for level 6 entry onto one of our degrees, then we can consider any subject. We also have a top-up program in computer science at undergraduate level, but that program is only available in September and would require a computer science background to be considered. But the two business programs, we are able to take any subject background onto those. We also do see that a lot of students will look to come and gain advanced entry level onto our LLB program. So students may have studied the University of Law program in Bangladesh, and they're looking to come study there either the second or final year of an LLB program with us. So again, we will accept those students. They just have to have studied specific modules within the first 1 or 2 years of their previous program to qualify for that entry. But those students can only join us in September.
Okay, cool. So are you planning to offer, MRes or PhD courses for the international students from the upcoming session or from September?
Yeah, so the university do already offer Masters by Research and PhD programs to international students. What we are very keen to do and what we are looking to develop is a bespoke MRes program that is tailored and catered towards the international market. So we've been in conversations with our doctoral college team and academic staff about the development of that program. We anticipate that it will probably be September 25 before we're able to launch this. So ready to recruit students for September 25. And the reason why it's taking slightly longer compared to maybe other institutions is that we're just very, very careful that we want to get this right. We want to make this work for our international market, and we also need to make sure that it meets UKVI requirements in terms of what is classified as a research degree, because obviously that will then determine whether students can look to opt to apply for dependent visas, etc. So we are ensuring that we make sure it is correct before we do launch this, which is why it is taking slightly longer. But we do aim to have a product ready to market for September 25 recruitment.
I hope so. Yeah. So as you mentioned before about the scholarship, are you offering for merit-based scholarship? As you know, we find some students comes with a very good academic result like CGPA 3.8 or 9 above out of 4 and IELTS having 7 or 8 scores. So is there any opportunity to get more scholarship for those students?
Yeah, so we would consider them for a merit-based scholarship. The one thing to note is if they are awarded a merit-based scholarship, that is the only scholarship that they can be awarded. So they can't have that and the £2,000. They can only have one or the other. What I would advise if these are Bangladeshi students, that you liaise with our Bangladeshi team in country and put a case forward for them to consider. And then they'll have conversations with either myself or the relevant colleague in the office as to whether or not we can award that scholarship to that student. So if you do have strong students that you feel should benefit from an additional scholarship, then please do put those forward and we can review those for you.
Thank you so much. It would be very beneficial for them as well, for our students. So, Dean, thank you so much for your messages, useful messages, which will be helpful for us, for our students as well. Now, I'd like to take some questions from our students who were watching our today's live session. May I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so how long does it offer the turnaround time? I think he talked about the offer and cash turnaround time.
Yeah, so currently offers are being turned around within 3 working days for our January session. In terms of 𝐃𝐬𝐲, it will be turned around as quickly as we possibly can, depending on ensuring that we've got all the documents in place. But all 𝐃𝐬𝐲s for the January start will be issued before the university closes for the Christmas break.
Okay, perfect. Are you offering 2-year LLM courses for the January 25 intake?
Excuse me, sorry. Unfortunately not. So our placement programs within LLM are only available in September intake. For the January session, it is only offered as the 1-year option. But if you are looking to do a 2-year option, you can join us in September.
Okay. So are you offering any MRAS courses for January intake?
MRES, we are currently developing that program. If we can get this through quickly, then hopefully we could have it in place for January 2025. But I think realistically, given obviously the time of year that we are at the moment and the point in the cycle, it will probably be September 25 recruitment where we have that product ready to launch.
Yeah, hope so. Is there any placement for masters on IT related subject?
Yes, so all of our computer science master's programs have a placement option, and they actually have that placement option available for January 25 intake as well. So we have different programs available in computer science, ranging from artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, data science and analytics, software engineering, and also just a standard computer science master's program as well. So yes, they all have a placement option, and they're all available in January.
Do you have accommodation facility for the international students, and what's the procedure of booking it?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier on in the session, we have a huge amount of accommodation on campus. All of our international students will be guaranteed a place in our accommodation. In terms of the process of applying, so once you receive your official offer from the university, you're able to make your application for accommodation. You will not be allocated a room until you have confirmed your place at the university. So essentially when you've paid your full deposit, that our accommodation team will then start to look at allocating rooms. You'll then be asked to accept that offer, and then you'll then go into the contract with our accommodation team.
Do you accept madrasa background students? So students who completed their, undergraduation from Islamic background.
Yes, we'll consider those degrees. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to look at medium of instruction for those particular programs, but yes, we would look at those degrees and look at the background, the subject, etc., and determine whether or not that would qualify them for entry onto one of our postgraduate programs. But yes, we will consider those students as well.
Do you accept how many years gaps for the UG and PG students you clarified before?
Yeah, so as I mentioned again earlier on in the session, postgraduate students, it's a 6-year gap, and for undergraduates, it's a 4-year gap.
Perfect. Are there any nursing courses available?
Yes, we offer a wide range of nursing programs, both at undergraduate and postgraduate level. These programs are only available to start in September due to the placements that are involved with the NHS in the UK. But we offer adult nursing at both undergraduate and postgraduate, mental health nursing at both undergraduate and postgraduate, but we also offer different options at undergraduate level as well. So child nursing, learning disabilities, and also midwifery.
Okay. Do you accept students having diploma in engineering?
We would consider students for who have a diploma in engineering, but they wouldn't qualify for our postgraduate programs. We'd only be able to consider them for an undergraduate program.
Yeah.
With our undergraduate programs with engineering, you can only enter at level year 2. You can't enter the final year due to the accreditation on those programs.
Okay. It's a 3 years degree course.
Yes, we accept 3-year degree courses. Most degree programs range from 3 to 4 years, and we group them all together and consider them the same.
Okay. I'm waiting for visa decision, and what's your last enrollment date?
Okay, it depends on the program that you're coming to study with us. My advice to you would be to contact our late arrivals team. So they can be contacted on latearrivals@herts.ac.uk, and they can guide you on the next steps onto when you can arrive in the UK and update the UKVI with that information accordingly.
Does the university offer courses with placement years?
Yes is the simple answer. Quite a lot of our postgraduate programs have a placement option on them. Okay, so
yeah.
Right. Well, we ask for a £5,000 deposit before we release a CAS. If our team feel that a student should pay an additional amount above that before the CAS is released, then they'll be in contact with yourselves regarding that. And that does tend to depend on feedback and insights that we've received from UKVI. So the minimum amount is £5,000, but you may potentially be asked to pay up towards £10,000.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I just answered that. I think in terms, yeah, £5,000 is the minimum, but we may ask you to pay up towards £10,000 before the CAS is released.
Yeah. Okay. So then I do have a question regarding the tuition fees, for undergraduation and post-graduation. So can you also please cover this for our students?
Yeah, sure. So our undergraduate fees are £15,500 for one of our standard programs. So that groups all of the business programs, law, engineering and computer science. Our health-related programs, such as nursing, they do attract a higher fee, slightly higher, around £18,000. But the reason for that is because of the NHS placement that you'll be going on to. Our postgraduate fees are £16,450 as a standard price. However, if you're coming to study a 2-year master's program, then they will be slightly higher, around £18,000 to £19,000 for the study. One thing to note, though, with those placement programs, you do only pay for the first year of your study. So that £19,000, as an example, will be payable in that first year, and then the second year it attracts no fee from you. And the same for if you are to go on to advanced research as well.
Perfect. So can you please cover also about the university support system for all the international students?
Yep. So the university have very, very strong support system for our international students. Students are maybe coming to the UK for the first time, maybe coming abroad for the first time, and sometimes it may be hard for them to settle in. So we have fantastic services on campus, ranging from a one-stop shop called the Hutton Hub, an Ask Herts team, which can provide guidance on accommodation, finance, additional support that they may need in finding somewhere to live. But we also have well-being services in there as well. So maybe if the student's feeling slightly homesick, they can approach that team and be given some offer and guidance. Our careers and employment team are very, very strong at the university. We have key industry links, and they can put you into contact with key business leading individuals. But main thing for our international students is we have a very, very large student immigration team. So they're there to offer support and guidance to our international students on their visas, but also help give them advice and guidance if they're potentially maybe looking to go to the EU and travel during the summer, as an example. And as always, the international office are going to be there to support students throughout their journey. So if students do have any queries, they're more than welcome to come into our office and be signposted and guided as to where they need to go to get the correct answers and support that they need.
Perfect. Okay. So I think we are nearly end of our today's session. So Dean, do you have anything to say to our students and regarding EN Global Education?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, thank you for having me today. It's been wonderful to kind of be involved with your session and answer the questions that your students have had. One thing I would say is, the university is a very supportive university. We're very internationally focused and we've got a very diverse student body. If you're obviously interested in applying to the university and you want to ask some more questions, then, please do approach EN Global and they can help support you with that. We've got a very, very strong positive relationship with EN Global that goes back quite a few years. And they are one of our key established partners in Bangladesh. So if you do, wish to apply, then please do approach one of their team. They'll be happy to support and guide you.
Thank you so much for your suggestions. So students, if you missed the September session, don't need to worry. Applications are now open for the upcoming January session. So please stop by any of our branches to learn more about the chances and prospects the University of Hertfordshire has to offer for the potential students. Last but not the least, I'd like to express my thankfulness to Dean once again, our students and the viewers for their valuable time and patience. Every student, I believe, received all the information they required to know about the university admission procedure. So stay well. Thank you, Dean, for joining today's live session.
No worries. It was lovely to be here and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Stay sound. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.